welcome to another video diary. A lot of my videos are like super backlogged, so as of right now I am currently in San Francisco. It is November 17th. I'm starting to reach the tail end of vacation. I feel really fortunate that I've been able to go to so many places this vacation and get a good mix of like tourist stuff, sightseeing, and then also relaxing. Also just feel really fortunate having so many people who are willing to house me. I feel like that is truly one of the only reasons I'm able to travel as much as I do. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about relationships and my general confusion surrounding it because, you know, it is my video diary. So in SF, I've been talking to this one guy. Let's nickname him Joe. Joe is the brother of one of my friends back in Vancouver, and we've been spending a decent amount of time together and it's been really fun, and I feel like that is kind of scary. I don't know, I feel like I just am not good at doing things casually, and getting into anything feels like probably it's too soon and probably not the right time. But like honestly, what is considered the right time, I feel like that's something that's really common to navigate in your 20s is relationships and the seriousness of it. I feel like on sitcoms we're taught to date super casually and it's okay to have so many different hookups, and if it works and if it doesn't work, whatever, who cares, just on to the next interesting person for the season. Because I'm such a hopeless romantic, it's really hard for me to like do anything casually. When I care about someone and I become loyal to them, that means something to me. And it takes a lot for me to break that loyalty. It's very obvious and apparent if you watched my other video regarding my breakup. It's not something I take lightly, but at the same time, it seems like it's weird to get into anything particularly serious. It's really nice seeing someone in their element and is like secure enough with themselves and is doing a job that they like care about, or at least they're passionate about in some capacity, and knows what they want, has like a tangible plan for their future. And I think that's also attractive. I can't tell if I think it's attractive because it's new or if I think it's attractive because I think it's attractive. Are you enjoying yourself because it's just something that is different and is fun, or is it something that you genuinely enjoy because this person is better suited to you as a partner? And that's a really, really difficult question to answer. I haven't had a lot of experience with different relationships. I know what I don't like. I don't really know what I do like. And Joe, so far, I haven't found anything that I really dislike. I don't know if that necessarily means that like anything should be particularly exclusive. I also know that as very tangible plans for the future, which again, like I really like and I think is really attractive, but realistically, I don't know if the things that he wants for his future necessarily align with how I see my future. To that point, it's like, who cares if you're just enjoying yourself? It doesn't really matter. You don't need to be looking like 5 years down the line if you guys are meant to be together when you guys have been seeing each other for just like a couple months. It's nothing serious. It doesn't need to be that hardcore, because I had that mindset for so long in terms of my last relationship of like the commitment, the long-term plan. It's kind of hard to get out of that. I've always been someone who thought they would date for the future, and someone who would, people who had potential for the kind of lifestyle and stuff that I wanted in the future. And the weird thing is that like Joe is the kind of person that I could see myself being with 10 years down the line, but like what he wants to do is not something that I would necessarily see myself doing. Like he wants to move halfway around the world, and I feel like I'm such a homebody. I don't know if I could ever actually commit to something as serious as that, but maybe I don't need to. The question is always, are you wasting your time if you know this relationship is going to end in heartbreak or end in some kind of breakup? Then what's the point of even pursuing it? And that is also such a difficult question, because I feel like right now, because I'm not really looking for anything particularly serious anyway, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm having fun. Who cares if it might not have the most feasible future? Like, I'm not even looking for something that serious anyway. But it's hard to not sensationalize and romanticize, and for that to become such a slippery slope in terms of what the future holds, what the relationship could be like, how it would be to grow old with this person. It's so easy to just get sucked into that when you're so happy and enjoying yourself and feeling as though things are going the way you want them to go. And I think that can be really tricky. Again, not to say that this video really has any answers, nor do I think there are any correct answers, but it's my video diary. I can just say whatever I want to. Yeah, I think it's all just really curious and difficult to navigate, especially when you're in your 20s. I have this one friend who, she's in her master's currently for nursing. Shout out to you. She's in this fertility course, and she was saying that the ideal age to freeze your eggs, if you're looking for IVF, the ideal age to freeze your eggs is 24. So bizarre to me, because like I'm already 23. It's not like I personally want a family. To think about how that is the biological timeline of when your ideal partner is supposed to just like manifest in your life, and where you're supposed to be and where they're supposed to be, to the point where technically, physiologically, you're supposed to be in a place where you're ready to start producing children, is obscene to me, because I'm only 5 months away from being 24, and children just seem, again, I've never wanted kids, but children seem like such an abstract theory right now. It seems like it wouldn't even if I wanted children, like that just seems so soon. In terms of like I feel like I've barely just started establishing myself, and even though I have a stable job, which I'm very grateful for, it's not like I'm in a place where I'm so financially stable that I'd be able to start supporting a child. Joe, the guy that I've been seeing, he's 28, and it's like I don't know if that necessarily changes the priorities of a relationship. Someone who's only 23, it's like, oh, you can still keep exploring, but like at 28, I don't know if that like changes things. And it also is like, when you're 28, that might also just be gendered. That's not to say that like women have to start earlier, but there are biological clocks that can cause women to feel a certain amount of pressure to establish themselves earlier in a way that men may not. That's also a conversation to be had. But then it's also like, how early is too early to be having these kinds of conversations with someone that you see for a few days once a month, right? Like, feasibility of a relationship when I live in Vancouver and he lives in SF is so implausible anyway. Like, is there even a point to be bringing up these things about gendered expectations on the future and families and whatnot? And it feels like it's a little premature, but also like, why pursue something for so long just to find out later that like the incompatibility on some aspect of your life is an ultimatum? You end up in heartbreak anyway. It's almost like, might as well know those things beforehand so that you can preemptively break up if you have to. Again, waste your time. And it's like, what is wasting your time? Especially if you're someone who doesn't want kids like myself. Is wasting your time not being with the person you're supposed to be with your whole life? Because like, you don't need to have children to want a family. Just to have the security of a partner who you can lean on, and vice versa. By not having that security, I feel like it's hard to explain to people that you want that security without also having kids wrapped up in the picture. Because it's like, realistically, if you don't want kids, why is it so important for you to have one partner for the rest of your life? And why is it so important to like find your person? Because like, if you don't want kids anyway, you got all the time in the world to find them. And it's like, Yeah, but the perfect person doesn't just come by. You have to find someone that you like at least like a certain amount, and then the rest of it is just like effort and time and work and communication and compromise. I feel like my previous relationship was like we were not right off the bat compatible at all, but like we made it work for so long, primarily I think because of all of the compromise. Like I definitely, and that being said, I feel like it's definitely like possible to find someone that you like and then to start working on those things earlier so that you can enjoy the rich depth of a relationship that's like truly communicative and understanding for longer. But also a relationship is only in part the compatibility, and most of the other part, like the more important part, are things that you work on together. Then I'm sure there's someone in Vancouver that I am as compatible with on like a base level. This has all just been so rambly and messy. Anyway, there's no real conclusion to this. I just wanted to kind of dump my thoughts here. Yeah, it's so easy to sensationalize, and it's so easy to fantasize about what life could be. That's another problem. That's another thing of like, oh, like my phone died, so we're going to be continuing this on my iPad. What I was just saying was that it's so easy to get confined by these things that don't actually exist, but you think that you're restrained by them. For example, Joe wants to move to Korea in like 5 years or something. And he's like, yeah, like we could live our best life in Korea. And part of me's like, oh, that would be nice, but I could never move to Korea. And part of me's like the little part of me is like, why can't you move to Korea? Like what is stopping you from doing that? Because why not, you know? And it's like it's one of those things where we're restrained by these rules that don't actually exist, but for some reason like we are bound by them. And I think that's one of the things I like most about him is he just seems so limitless in the way that he thinks, and the possibilities just feel so endless with him. And it's kind of hard to like snap back to reality and be like, girl, you got a job, you got to go back to work, come down, come back to earth. But that is his earth. Like his earth still involves all of these wonderful possibilities. It's just like it's so freeing to talk to someone like that and be with someone who truly thinks that the world is your oyster and you can just go out and do whatever you want. But it's nothing that I've really lived by personally, because I have always been constrained by these completely fabricated rules of society. And it's really hard to strike an in-between for myself when everything he says is just so enticing and so exciting and new. And I also love the life that I have in Vancouver, where I like my steady job and my steady life and my quiet living and doing the small little mundane things of my everyday life that aren't exciting, but they still bring me a lot of joy. Maybe the answer is to just keep seeing this guy a week out of every month and getting my fill of excitement and then going back to my mundane life and staying in touch with reality for the other little bit. I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I have so many jumbled thoughts and ideas in my head, and when you've been with one person for so long. I was talking to my sister about this a bit, and it's bizarre because being with Paul from my last video, for the longest time, I thought the person I was with Paul was just the person that I thought I was going to be in relationships. Who I was with my ex is who I would be with anyone. Joe is making me realize is that I am not the same person with him as I was with my ex. I'm a different version of myself when I'm with him. And that is also a really interesting and abstract thing to think about, because it's like, it's not like you're trying to change yourself for someone, but different personalities, different conversations, different ways that people challenge you are things that come up, and they cause you to respond in a different way or see things in a different way. Those interactions, they can impact you, and they can impact like how you're interacting with that person and potentially the other people around you. I have to be introduced to myself again. I have to get acquainted with the person I am and with someone else. And that can be really daunting as well, because, you know, like Joe brings up all these like different things in me that like I didn't know were even there, and it's exciting and it's scary, and I didn't realize that there were these different parts of me to even explore. But anyway, I've been rambling on about this for long enough. I don't know if there's much more to say, but if anyone has any input on anything that I said in this video, please let me know, because I am lost and confused, which is, I guess, the whole point of this video diary. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.